Okay, now that the meeting is being recorded, just going to go over housekeeping a little bit more one more time. The chat window is open. Skipped ahead there in the presentation. We'll come right back to that. Chat window is open. If you have a question as we go through the presentation, please throw it up in the chat window. Typically, I will see it as we're going through the presentation. The window is prominent on my screen, and if I don't see it for whatever reason, you know, I'm just so passionate about the content, I'll make sure that I check it out before we conclude the presentation. And then at about the 45-minute mark, I should be able to open it up for questions, although I would prefer that we try to get it all out on chat, because in my experience, the moment that I open it up for questions and take everybody off mute, it just becomes a cacophony of background noise, and everybody just immediately starts dropping off. So please try to use that chat room as we go. So I gave a little bit of a spoiler there on slide number 2, but how's the shutdown treating everybody else, right? 5 months apiece is just what I want. Careful what you wish for. We know how it turned out with this guy. First, all work and no play makes him into a dull boy, and certainly it spirals downward at that point. So let's keep it light and have some fun today. Welcome to Daltile. Once again, really appreciate everybody making the time to be on the call today. I think we've got a lot of good content to go through here. You know, I think that we've got a compelling story to tell with regard to the business and 2-centimeter porcelain tile and our business relationship with Rochester Concrete Products. I think that everyone on the call, contractors and dealers alike, I don't know if we have maybe specifiers on the call as well, but whatever your business may be, I think that you will find that we have a well thought out plan, and it's going to be a well executed plan. We've got a good variety of products. Our lead times are good, and we're going to have fair pricing to the market as well. So again, thank you very much. And let's take a look at an agenda slide now. Here's just where I tell you what I'm going to tell you throughout the course of the call. So who's Daltile? Basically, that's who are you going to be doing business with. And we want you to be comfortable and confident in the people that you're doing business with. I've been in hardscapes for a long time. I'll tell you that in just a moment. But my experience is this is still very much a people doing business with people business. So it's just really strongly about relationships. And so I want you to know who you're doing business with as a company, because I know a lot of people in the hardscape world don't know very much about Daltile yet. And then quickly, Daltile and Rochester Concrete Products, why have we partnered up and what does that partnership look like? Just a quick overview on why porcelain for outdoors. I know that in your neck of the woods, depending on which market you're in, porcelain is getting pretty widely accepted to varying degrees. Chicago more so than Minneapolis right now, but it's going to keep moving forward towards wider and broader acceptance. So once we've established porcelain as a category for outdoor materials, what products does Daltile have in the lineup? What accessories do we have in the lineup? Because we've thought about the accessory items too, not just the 2cm tile. Then we'll go through some installation options, and that'll probably hold some interest for a lot of the contractors on the call. By the way, love having hardscape dealers and contractors on the call today. Last 2 weeks, I've been presenting to all the various 10 U.S. regions plus Canada within Daltile, and I'm teaching everybody about hardscapes. So it's been tile guys on the call learning about hardscapes. Now it's hardscapes guys on the call learning a little bit more about tile. I think I can speak the language with you guys a lot better, so really appreciate that breath of fresh air. What sales tools do we have available for you to show at your stores, or if you're a contractor to carry with you on sales calls? And then what next steps would we like to see happen, especially as we hopefully very soon start to come out of this shutdown that everybody's in. So here you go. Literally, here's the leadership team for Daltile's Xteriors program. That's me on the top, and I want to see if I can do this real quick because I do want to show some video later. So hopefully a video screen is popping up that shows me. I think I've got it covered up in my corner. I'm going to uncover it. Yeah, so you can see the beard has gotten a little bit longer since this picture was taken, but that was just a year ago at this point now. So this isn't all just from coronavirus. So there's my contact information with a phone number. My email address is on there. I've got 15 years of experience in hardscapes. I think it's actually closer to 17 at this point. And some of you, many of you actually, I believe, will know me from a previous career. I was director of sales for the U.S. at Technoseal for the final 10 of my 13-year stint at Technoseal. And then Fred Davis, I don't think anybody knows yet. He mostly deals with our specification sales side. He's been at Daltile for 48 years. I'm 47 years old. He's been with the company for 48 years, and he's held a lot of different jobs in the organization. But I know some of you do some big commercial work, and we've got a commercial sales team that's going to be driving specs. So some of you may have the opportunity to cross paths with Fred Davis here in the near future. And then Greg Smith is a guy I've known for 15 years. I brought him on in November. He spent the last 4 years with a competitor to Daltile called Emser. And then before that, he was with Oldcastle as a Belgard sales manager in Phoenix and then also in Houston. And his title is Western U.S. Regional Manager, but we're a little bit thin right now with a big job in front of us. So we have determined together that the Western U.S. is everything west of the Atlantic Ocean and including Canada. So we're just going where the work is and where assistance is needed for now. So that's who we are. And then here's a little bit about Daltile. We have 12 plants in North America. That's that diagram on the left-hand side, and you can see a red star next to Dixon, Tennessee. That plant is relatively, actually it's quite new, and it's absolutely state-of-the-art. You know that all the 2CM for the hardscape world is coming out of Tennessee right now. Our 2CM is still being produced in Italy by a sister company of ours called Marazzi, no relation to Mirage, it's Marazzi. And we are both wholly owned subsidiaries of Mohawk Industries, and Mohawk Industries is the largest flooring manufacturer in the world. We have brands like Pergo, we make carpet, laminates, hardwood, just a bunch of different products, luxury vinyl tile, and then obviously ceramic and porcelain. But all these plants are producing some type of ceramic or porcelain in the U.S., and then you can see factory direct sales. We've got 254 sales service centers, 38 stone centers, and 12 galleries and studios. And if you've never been in one of those galleries or studios, it's really a gorgeous environment and quite a shopping experience. You don't even walk out of there buying anything. You just do product selection. So you go in there with your architect or your interior designer and you pick out tile. So even with all these points of sale, though, when going after the exteriors market, we're not trying to sell contractor direct out of our stores. And the main reason for that is because they hired me with a hardscapes background. I know very well that they're going to your guys, the dealers on the call, and the contractors on the call will agree with this. You're going to a dealer because you're a one-stop shop. Our company stores, they are one-stop shops if you're a tile setter, right? So you can get your setting material, get your grout, get your tools, get your sponges, your pails, everything that you need to do a tile job, but you will not get everything that you need to do a hardscape job. So you're not going to get base material, bedding material, jointing, you know, a bunch of different things. Obviously, you're not going to get concrete pavers or natural stones or landscape lighting or pond supplies. So we recognized, and Daltile did a very, very good job of themselves recognizing what they don't know about the hardscape world and going out and hiring a couple hardscape guys, and me and Greg. They know that they're not going to be able to sell directly to hardscape contractors by and large. Now, a big commercial job, it's like any of my other competitors in the concrete world, natural stone world, or tile world. But on your day-to-day, you know, your residential backyard, your 80% of your hardscape sales are going through hardscape dealers. And in your part of the country, it's a very strong dealer market. So that's where we're trying to play. We do not want to compete with hardscape dealers that we set up directly. And if you see our little brag bullet on the bottom there, Daltile's a huge company. So we're more than 4 times the size of second place distributor, and we actually manufacture. In the tile world, some of you have probably figured out that there's a ton of brand names, but not too many people that actually have a plant, and they're actually manufacturing. And the reason for that is if you're in the concrete paver world, well, Jeff, I got you on mute, sorry, but I think your cost of entry is about $15 million. In the porcelain tile world, you're north of $100 million to get in the game on a manufacturing standpoint. So there's a lot of brands, a lot of distribution companies, not very many actual manufacturers. All right, this is an important slide and one I think that people are probably have been wondering about. So these are basically the 3 primary routes to market for 2cm tile right now today. And I color-coded them for everybody so you can get at least my opinion on what's good, better, and best in terms of a route to market. And I'm sorry, give me just a moment. We had a couple more people join, and I'm trying to mute them out. All right, fantastic. Looks like we're all caught up. So if you're the top one, then this is happening quite a bit, and this is kind of out of order the way the industry develops. Let's start with number 2 real quick. This is how the industry kind of developed for 2cm tiles. So tile manufacturers courted concrete paver manufacturers, and in your area it's Belgard and Unilock, to carry and distribute their tiles so that they would have the local sales representation, the relationships with the dealers, and the relationships with the contractors in the field. And this is smart. But what happens when you do that is you got this concrete paver manufacturer stepping on the product with a margin in the middle, so the pricing goes up a little bit. And then what that brought on was tile manufacturers seeing your hardscape dealers suddenly picking up 2cm tile. They say, hey, we got that too. Let's go and sell them direct, undercut those paper producers, and give them a great product or a great price on a similar product. Well, that happened, obviously, and a lot of people started buying direct from whomever, some cases Del Conca, even going around Unilock, Florum, Landmark, various others, some import businesses as well. But what happened there is now you've got a tile salesman coming into the store who doesn't really know very much about hardscapes and certainly doesn't have the time really to try to learn that and develop those relationships and be there on a regular basis. And I'm going to click here. So you got lowest price in that model, but we also have some quality issues, and I know this very well. I've heard it both from our tool manufacturer that we use for a score and snap tool. They say that a lot of stuff coming out of Tennessee right now, they're throwing away 2 out of 3 tiles with their cutters because the tile breaks. There's too much tension inside the tile. And I've heard it going to hardscape local shows all around the country as well. And I know a bunch of hardscape guys, the top installers around the country, and they have all told me the same thing. They don't want the stuff out of Tennessee anymore. They just have too much waste, and it's wasting too much of their time. So material waste and labor waste, so that price savings goes away pretty quick with that kind of a situation. And then if you go back to the original model, you get some better representation because you got all those concrete paver guys that are also representing the tile. You're going to get a little bit higher price though because they're right here, that margin that's going to be in there. But at least on the Italian stuff, people are pretty content with the quality of it, is my sense in talking to the field. So the price point's not so bad since the stuff that's the lower price, is breaking and they're experiencing more waste. So now we come to the green colored one that we think is the best. This is a direct purchase relationship between Daltile and the dealer. So it's just like up here if it's Landmark and the dealer, now it's Daltile and the dealer. But rather than me trying to throw in one of my local tile reps who doesn't know anything about hardscape, doesn't know how to dig a hole to the right depth, doesn't know how to shoot a grade, doesn't know the pavement's supposed to be sloped because indoors it can be level, instead of that, partnered up with our good friends who are on the call here, by the way, from Rochester Concrete Products, and obviously they set up the call. But rather than Rochester carrying our product, holding it in a yard somewhere, stocking it, and then trucking it again, and then selling it, taking a margin on the product, we pay RCP a commission on the sales, and then we ship it direct to the dealer. and then the dealer can sell it to the contractor just like the above model. So we have that great representation of working with Rochester Concrete, and we also have the top quality because it's coming out of our Marazzi, Italy plant, so it's great Italian tile. I'll tell you a little bit more about the quality in a bit. And then you still have a direct purchase relationship with Daltile. So as a dealer on the call, when you set up an account with Daltile, it's going to be with Daltile. So your account will be with Daltile, and the even better news about that is once you have a direct account with Daltile, now you're open to buy anything that we've got. So you got a little home improvement, you want to get some beautiful backsplash tile, where you're going to get a dealer price on the backsplash too. So a little added bonus. So here you go. If you're a contractor, your price ought to be roughly $6.50 to $9 a foot. I'm sure there's going to be a little wiggle room on either end of that spectrum. That's going to be FOB the dealer. But you're getting top quality. Availability is great because I've got over 600,000 square feet on the ground in the U.S., 21 stocking SKUs across 4 different regional distribution centers. You're shipped out of Dallas, and because you saw I've got all those stores all over the country, I've got trucks going every day. So we should never be more than a 4-day lead time unless the business blows up before we can get ahead of the inventory. That's the only thing, and then we'll get ahead of the inventory, and there's never going to be a lead time problem again. So why porcelain tile for outdoors? All these reasons, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it because you guys mostly know porcelain and its benefits already, so I don't need to hammer it home. But if you look here, the chart versus the common products that are used for outdoor flooring or outdoor landscape pavement right now, and porcelain pavers down the left, you've got the different characteristics. The number one thing porcelain's got going for it is this absorption rate. It's less than 0.5%, so it's 1/10 the next best on the sheet. And that just means it doesn't stain, it's frost resistant, freeze thaw is no issue, de-icing salts is no problem. And then the beautiful thing is, well, stain resistant, it doesn't fade either, it doesn't scratch. It's a really nice product. And it weighs in only at 9 pounds a foot, so you get more square footage on the truck. If you're taking it up to the rooftop for a pedestal job, you get more in the elevator at a time. I mean, it's a nice product, and as category, the growth of it is inevitable. And now that Daltile has committed to be in the game, it's absolutely inevitable because quality is going to be good. We have the logistics platform with our regional distribution centers and our stores around the country to serve cut orders. It's happening. So it's going to be there. And, good job to both us and RCP to recognize each other as a great partner for this part of the country. And good job for everybody being on the call to learn about it right now, because it gives us all an opportunity to come out of this lockdown strong together and pushing forward. So the products that are in the lineup, I'm going to pick up the pace here a little bit. We have 21 stocking SKUs, as I said, across our 4 U.S. RDCs. You're shipped out of Dallas. 14 of those are stone looks and 7 of them are wood looks. We've got trim profiles to complete the system and vertical accessories. That's our core lineup. Now, as I said, you've got access to everything else in the candy store too, everything interior, countertop slabs. We've got a bunch of stuff. And then we have a lot of stuff that's also suitable for outdoor that's beyond the scope of this presentation, but that you can easily check out for yourself on our website that I'll show you here momentarily. So the big selling point on our stone looks that basically all of our competition really can't match is this coordinating interior tile option. So if you're a dealer and somebody wants this, 7,500 square foot pool deck maybe, and they go, holy cow, I didn't know that my inside floor could match it too. I love that inside out design, blur the line, the space kind of blends into one. I got the pocket doors and everything. You can sell them the indoor tile too, so it's half the thickness and it's smoother. So we've got a coefficient of friction of like 0.42 on the inside, and it's 3/8 of an inch. You go outside, it's 3/4 inch or 2 cm, and your dynamic coefficient of friction is over 0.6. And everything that we sell is fully rectified and a decoff of over 0.6, which makes it suitable for outdoor pavements in a commercial environment, which means it's totally fine for a residential environment. Nobody's going to get sued for slip and fall because we meet the Tile Council of North America testing standards. I think it's ANSI for, yes, it is ANSI for decoff. And then, so the actual products themselves, we've got 5 different stone series in our stone attache collections, and that's our 14 SKUs of stone looks. So we've got a French limestone in 3 colors, It's 24 by 24, so sort of your standard. And we've got an agglomerate stone in 3 colors. That's a 32 by 32. That's a big piece of tile. It's a 65-pound tile. And then we've got a 16 by 48 lineal quartzite look in a light and dark gray. Diplomacy is a Belgian blue stone in 2 sizes, 24-24 and 20 by 40, a light and dark gray. And then a light and dark gray compressed slate look in the Delicate series. That's also a 20 by 40. And then the wood looks, who wouldn't want a really quality wood look that's maintenance-free, whether it's on your deck, a dock, a pool deck, somebody might want a hardwood driveway look, I don't know. But it's available and it's completely maintenance-free. So we've got 7 SKUs, they're all in the Commissary series in 5 colors. All 5 of them come in 16 by 48-inch planks, and then also Deputy Gray and Regent Honey come in 24 by 24-inch squares. Talked about the trim profiles. These are the 5 main ones, although we can do more. So we've got a coping, an L edging, an L curb, a gutter, and a grid tile. Right now, these are all made to order, and they're coming out of Italy. So I don't have a great story at the moment. That's a 12 to 16 week lead time. So if somebody really wants that hardwood look gutter going around their pool, we need to know well in advance. However, we are right at the finish line now of negotiating with a couple of domestic fabrication shops that will be able to crank out production runs of these products. Even if it's made to order, in the meantime, that's going to be like a 3 to 6 week lead time. So that's pretty reasonable, but we will get to the point where we'll cut that down and we'll see which trim pieces are selling the most in which colors, and from there we'll be able to have a small amount of inventory of a variety of these trim profiles. Complementary products, we've got vertical accents, so every stone look, all those colors of stone have a coordinating thin vertical porcelain mosaic veneer that goes with them. So you've got your stack bond look here, sort of a basket weave down here, your random linears, some neat looking products, a brick joint down here, or a running bond look. And then 2 other products we've had in our lineup for a long time that are totally suitable for outdoor environments. We've got the stacked stone. The nice thing about our stacked stone is the corner pieces are finger jointed, so you don't have either a mitered cut all the way down the corner or a butt joint where you see an unfinished edge on the corner. We've got 10 colors in that, and 7 of them are completely freeze-thaw tolerant, and we can talk about which ones when we come to that point. But nice product. And then brickwork is a thin quarry tile, so it's not actually a brick, but it's a quarry tile. It's a fired product, and we've got 6 colors in 2 different sizes, 4x8 and 2x8. If you're 100% undercover outside, this is a suitable flooring too, because the dynamic coefficient of friction being over 0.42. But it's a neat looking product, and it's priced well, and you get that real antique brick look. A product that's really easy to install. So installation options and preferred vendors. So here's your 5 basic kinds of installation. I know that people are going to want to talk about the hardscape style of installation. I will go over that a little bit. But as you can see, raised paving, grass, sand, and gravel, laying with screed, adhesive, or a thin set with grout, and then overhead decking. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with that system already. Grass, sand, and gravel. So grass and sand, these are basically just stepping stone applications. So you can go to Home Depot and get your 16 by 16 square stepper or your round exposed aggregate stepper. The nice thing about these in comparison is that they're going to be lighter on a per square foot basis, and they're thinner, so you're not going to roll your ankle like crazy if you go off the edge a little bit. But it does make for a very nice temporary flooring, especially if you're in like the hospitality space, temporary dance floor, networking reception, what have you, and then you can stack it back up because it's thin, it's light, it doesn't take up much room. Kind of a neat application, but certainly not something that everybody's going to be doing and taking a paycheck on at the end of the job. So let's talk about that. The gravel, the tile industry calls it a gravel installation. It's a hardscape cross-section. So here's where you're going to excavate. We are very much advocating for what a lot of the hardscape or the paver industry is moving towards right now, and that's that open graded aggregate, hybrid, permeable style base. So number 57 stone with a number 8 or 9, but typically a number 8 stone bedding layer, number 8s in the joints. We'd want to have at least an 1/8 of an inch joint. In the beginning of March, I was actually in Racine at Steve Jones's Pave Tech School, and that, by the way, if you don't know, as of last weekend, is now Greg Ambrose's paver installation school. If any of you know who Greg is, probably some do. But spent a couple days there, and just both some sit around the table and with some industry experts, and let's talk about what's the best installation practice, and then went down and beat them up too. Ran a vibratory plate compactor over porcelain that didn't even have an edge restraint around it, and it held up fine. Nothing broke, but you had to have that magnesium pad on the bottom, and it had to be a high frequency, low amplitude plate compactor, but it held up no problem. So we do want to have edge restraint on the system. We do want to have jointing material. Ideally, I think that number 8 stone is the way to go, although, you know, some sands could be fine too. But you have to have spacers in the joints because this is not an interlocking pavement. So the tile bumps into each other. The only thing that can really chip the tile is another tile, basically. So once they start bumping into each other, you're going to get chipping and it won't work. They're not interlocking anyway. So we got to have joint material in there. I'm happy to take any questions on that. I see right now the chat room is still open. So if you want to sharpshoot me on that, now's a good time to remember and plug it in there, and then I'll see it as it pops up. Pedestal systems. I know that there's some people on the call here who are using pedestals right now. I think that Bison and in your neck of the woods, MRP are popular. MRP is the distribution company. The manufacturer of that product is Eterno Ivica. Eterno Ivica actually used to manufacture the Profilitec pedestal. Really, Profilitec private labeled an Eterno Ivica pedestal. And then Profilitec, this is another Italian company, as is Eterno Ivica. They thought that they could do it better, so they redesigned the pedestal. So a lot of what the Profilitec pedestal is based on the Eterno Ivica with what they see as some improvements. But it's a great product for raised flooring. Get up on that rooftop, hide your utilities, have a perfectly flat floor with open joints. The water still hits the low slope floor, runs to drain or to scupper. And then we've got, you know, again, taking it up the elevator, you get more square footage in the elevator. You're not, you know, slaying your labor with a really heavy concrete product. And it's never going to stain, it's never going to scratch, it's never going to fade. If you use a light colored one, it stays cool. It's just a really good material for the option or for the application. Now, real quick on the Profilitec pedestal, I'm going to try to turn on video so you can see me playing with my pedestal toys here. Hopefully everybody can see this. It basically has 3 primary SKUs, and this is great if you're a dealer and you're stocking anything because you don't have to have, you know, upwards of even like 23, 25, 27 SKUs, because with most pedestals, as you go over a certain height, you got to switch to a new pedestal. So if you're an installer and you're on the job site, it could be the situation where you measured a little bit off, or the people came and did the waterproofing and it was a little thicker than they said it was going to be, whatever. You might have like 300 of the wrong pedestal on the job site, and at that point you got to worry about, is there going to be a restock fee, and what's your work stoppage look like? And I think somebody just joined. There we go. Okay, so 3 SKUs primarily. You've got a low pedestal. As you can see, the head of the pedestal is self-leveling right now. This yellow ring in the middle, if I screw that all the way down to the point where it locks, now it's fixed head. So it's fixed head or self-leveling with the exact same product. You don't have to switch out the head if you want it to be self-leveling or fixed. It's the same head. And then you've got a standard pedestal, so a little bit taller. And again, there's that self-leveling. And then you've got the modular ring, right? What's that, Lord of the Rings? One ring to rule them all? I don't know. That's not really my genre. But here's how it works real quick. I'm going to make sure I'm on the camera. So you get to the top, and then there's a little button you indent. This comes out. The base stays here. And then you find where you line it up. Plop that on top. Lock it into place, screw that back in. If you got to go higher than that, well, you just slap another 3 cm ring on top of it, and you keep building up from there. I think you can see behind me here, that's a big pedestal, right? That's a big pedestal. And then you've got interchangeable spacer heads. It is rubber for sound dampening, just like some of the newer ones on the market. And all those do, you don't have to put a different head in there. You just slap it in. And this is a 4 mil spacer. If I don't like that one, wrong one, I rip it out, it's totally reusable, or I can switch it over to the 2mm spacer. Don't like that, rip it out, I gotta use wood joists. I've got the wood joist attachment as well. So extremely versatile product. And Profilitech is primarily a profile company, so they've got all the clips that you guys are used to, and they also have some really nice trim profiles. These are sample pieces. Typically this is going to be just about 9 feet long, and it's a skirt with a 2 cm top on it, so it's a great way to finish off the edge. And then here's another version of that where you can finish off the edge treatment like so, but you have a step and a riser. Right? So you get that riser look with that real nice finished profile on there. All right, so then it comes with a 3-function key. I'm going to go back off video for now, spare you guys the misery. This 3-function key, if you draw your eye to the screen here, function number 1, that's to raise and lower the pedestal with up to 3 pieces of tile on it. I know Eterno's got that too. This is a sturdier key. Second function, this fork level at the top, or this fork tool, that's for loosening that yellow ring in the bottom if you got to take it back to self-leveling. If it locks, it's hard to get it off with your fingers. And then 3 down here on the bottom right, that's for just ripping off those spacer tabs. So a really nice system. We also have the Rise It low pedestals. Bring back video real quick. Just a couple of SKUs. Some of you guys have seen these already. It's a 1/2-inch spacer with 3mm joints on it. They can stack up to 3 high. They nest in each other. If you have to cut them for out at the perimeter, you just bend it and then rip it in half. We also have a flat head that's a 1/2-inch high. And then we've got an 1/8 inch. This is a little more than an oversized glorified spacer than a low pedestal. And then a 1/16 of an inch shim where it just rests right on top of that, and you have to do some slope correction. You just fold it back. Now you've got an 1/8 of an inch of slope correction as well. So that is a very economical, hardscaper-friendly, quick makeover kind of pedestal. Can be used on the rooftops too if you need additional support underneath the center of a tile, for instance. That's a very economical way to do it, as long as you're at a quite low pedestal. Going back off the video here. Check my time. Okay, I got 10 minutes left. That's not so bad. Bonded on concrete. We partnered with Mapei. Laticrete has great products. Custom has great products. Mapei's just given us very good support and help us get the program off the ground and get our people educated in the field as well. By the way, all of these companies that we've partnered with for installation systems have field reps as well, so we will do training in the field. We're very happy to come and do contractor events. In fact, as soon as this is over with, I'm going to be on the plane like you guys won't believe, so I'm going to come around and say hi to everybody, and we're going to shake hands and give hugs as soon as we're allowed to. We're going to go to the restaurant. We're going to have a good time. But we definitely want to come and train contractors at your location on some of these various installation techniques because it just gets everybody more comfortable with the products, and there's going to be demand out there amongst homeowners. So let's be prepared to meet it by being educated on installation. So why would you want to do bonded on concrete? Well, the main reason is for vehicular traffic, right? Driveways and garage floors if you're residential, outdoor shopping malls, public plazas, parks, whatever, if you're commercial. And whether you're commercial or residential, you've got the slip resistance for outdoor environments and commercial settings. And the biggest thing, no stains. Right, so you get that beautiful outdoor shopping mall. Everybody's dropping their ice cream, spitting their gum out, whatever. You're at the public plaza, and people are spraying suntan oil all over the place. We know what oil does to some pavements. Just no worries about staining with this product. So let a guy come through with a pressure washer, and he's not going to tear up the surface. And so it's a very quick and easy maintenance, virtually low to almost no maintenance. So the big thing here is, like I mentioned, you can have other companies' materials on here, but 2 things. Number 1, the setting material and the grout have to be rated for outdoor applications, and in your part of the country have to be good for freeze-thaw. So they have to be virtually waterproof, and they make them. Ones that you don't have to seal afterwards. There are waterproof ones so that water won't soak into the grout, get into the setting, freeze, expand, and pop the tile. But I would also recommend that if you're going with an outdoor setting application, that whatever system you use, make sure it's completely branded with each other. You don't want people finger pointing. It's the setting material. No, it's the grout. It's the grout guy. Let's use one system for all applications. I see a couple questions coming in. Thank you. I will get to those at the end because I see some of them are regarding pedestals, and we're past that now. Stone deck. Some of you guys are probably familiar with this already. I've got a piece of it here under my desk. I'm running short on time, so I'm not going to turn the camera back on to do some show and tell. But you guys are probably pretty familiar with it. The nice thing, though, here, the porcelain, once again, because it's thinner and lighter, and it has a really finished indoor quality look where you can have the same, if you're in the stone looks, you can have the same tile on your inside as well, so you get that seamless look for your, your walkout basement. Your patio out the basement can be the same as your overhead deck. It's just really nice design harmony there, and something that some major home builders, by the way, right now on the East Coast especially, are throwing in some models that have that above and below. And in this case, it's wood look. So they went with a wood look raised deck with a wood look patio out the walkout basement. And that's going to be going in hundreds of homes over the next few months. So that is a look that is definitely catching on. Ruby tools for 2cm. I'm going to see if this video works. It wasn't working earlier. All right, so I'm going to show it to you real quick because I think this is probably the best way to show this. I just turned off sharing, so don't panic. I am going to switch to another screen to share with you real quick on this video. This is a score and snap tool, right? This isn't a wet saw with a porcelain rated blade. This is a score and snap tool, so watch how fast this goes, and we're talking really fast, zero dust. Boom, done. Look at the precision on that cut. Is that not unbelievable? So again, if you're a rooftop guy and you're doing porcelain, imagine this is the tool that you take up in the elevator. I'm switching back to the PowerPoint right now, by the way, everyone. This is the tool that you take up with you in the elevator, and you can maybe even leave your rail saw down on the ground for those few cuts that you have to do where you're doing an L shape, for instance, but all your straight cuts you can do with this tool. Now, quick word of warning on this. These are the guys that tell us that this tool, they're getting over 9 out of 10 successful cuts with my tile, with Daltile. With everything they've tried out of Tennessee right now, they're getting about 1 out of 3, sometimes 1 out of 4. There's just too much tension in that tile. I don't know if they're cooling it off too fast or what they're doing, but they're saying they're having bad luck with it. And I've got contractors telling me bad luck with saws too. But in addition to the score and snap, Ruby's got vacuum suction cups. It's a manual pump, not battery operated, so you don't have to worry about the battery going bad. Just worry about getting a cramp in your thumb. Then you use the other one. That's why you got 2. Holds up to 243 pounds per suction cup, so it's a really good efficiency tool and not that expensive. It's a nice product. Holds onto the rougher surface of the porcelain really well. And then drill bits, saw blades, wet and dry rail saws. They're tops in the tile industry, so it's not a hardscape tool company trying to cross over into porcelain. These guys have been cutting porcelain for decades, and they're good at it. So what tools do we have for you guys to use out in the field? Carry boards. We've got 2 carry boards for their stone looks, 1 carry board for the wood look. Great presentation tool, a lot of technical information on the back of the board. Carry boards for the wall mosaics, so the porcelain mosaics to match the stone attaché pavers. The brickwork, you can see a couple of the colors of the brickwork there, some neat looking products. And then the stacked stone, that's the natural thin cut veneer stone. Carry boards for those 3 products as well. Architectural folders, if you're going to go present in that environment. The nice thing about this, once they put them on the shelf, you've got those spines looking at you that say 2cm pavers, have the Daltile logo on them, which is very powerful in the specifier world, by the way. And it's a nice, again, a really nice presentation tool. Daltile's good at that. We've got pull-up banners. Right now, a very small amount of those. They were for trade shows, but if you're a dealer and you want one on your floor, I will get one for you. We're in the same boat as everybody else right now. We're not exactly spending money on marketing issues until we figure out how the economy is going to turn. But we've got a couple of those. What we do have enough of, though, are these stair-step displays. Those are indoor-outdoor quality. They hold up to 8 full-size pieces of tile. That's nice, especially if you go with a smaller stocking lineup, for instance, of products. But if you want to show all 21 SKUs, I'll just give you 3 of those stands, and you can show a piece of all 21 of those. And then 4x4 loose labeled chips. So the label is on the back of the piece. It's a 4-inch square, and it just tells you color, series, some technical information. Those are available. I got like 500 of all 17 colors. Our website is really nice. So daltile.com/Xteriors. Xteriors begins with an X in our case. It's our brand for outdoor. It does not begin with an E, but there's the website. Check that out. When you go there, if you scroll down, the bottom right circle says Xteriors Documents. Man, we got some good information there. So there's installation videos on the pedestals, on the stone decks. We've got installation guides. We've got a digital version of our print catalog. Again, I'm not turning on my camera, but I can show you our print catalog. Limited quantities of that available right now. We will probably reprint in May, but we're trying to beef up the content a little bit. And then we've got vendor-provided or vendor-curated content on our site. So Profilitech, Mapei, Stone Decks, Ruby Tools, they've all got content that's only for exteriors. You don't have to look at 1,500 Mapei SKUs. You just look at the 4, 5, or 6 that are good for outdoor use. This Pro Exchange is a great tool, guys. It's unbelievable. It's basically like Amazon for Daltile. So you go on there, you can manage your account. You can order, so you're up late, 3 in the morning, and you feel like doing a little online shopping. You can hop on there and buy whatever you want for your next project. Stock up on the most expensive tile if you like. That's available. But you can manage your account. You can look at your old invoices. It's a really, really nice tool that allows for, check out this bottom bullet, social distancing without business interruption. You can do just about anything you need to do, including checking pricing, checking ETA or inventory levels, make your payments, and then chat with somebody for support if you need. Live chat. So a really, really neat tool. What's the so sorry this slide is so busy with so many words. We just have so many advantages. I cut out like 4 or 5 bullets to try to get it shrunk down. This is what I'm left with. I've got 1 minute to finish, so this is just perfect timing. So what are our competitive advantage? Quality and design. Quality, it's rectified, it's all got a decop, dynamic coefficient of friction over 0.6, and it cuts true, right? It doesn't break, it doesn't take a left turn on you when you're trying to get a straight cut at the last second. It's a nice, nice product. Indoor design harmony on the stone looks. You can have that same look both indoors and out to blur that line. We got a bunch of stuff beyond just the 2cm tiles. So we're not jumping on the bandwagon of somebody else's work and saying, yeah, we have that too. Daltile studied this for 5 years because Daltile is a very conservative company before deciding to get in the game. And once they got in the game, they said, well, we've also got panoramic porcelain for outdoor countertops. We've got stepwise thin tile that you can do bonded on concrete and still meet decoff. So that's a good outdoor application. Just a whole variety, a whole basket of products that you can use for outdoor applications as well and make a really, really high quality indoor style finish for your outdoor space. Turnkey installations with field support from our preferred vendors, a direct purchase relationship with us, with the manufacturer. We're stocked in the USA for short lead times. Our brand name is unbelievable with homeowners and specifiers, by the way, if you're not that familiar. We've got hardscape guys leading the effort. We've got 130 architectural reps out there driving specs that are now at least aligned to our outdoor products and getting more and more trained on a monthly basis. And then the company is invested in the program. We didn't just say, hey man, go try to sell some of our 2cm to that hardscape yard. No, we've got an entire program behind it we've invested in it. So we've committed resources to it. So this little slowdown due to the coronavirus is not going to curtail our commitment to the success of it. So some next steps from you guys, I would suggest open an account. It doesn't cost anything. So when it's time to place an order, we don't have that as an obstacle in there. And if you never decide to, well, it didn't cost you anything in the meantime. But I would suggest or encourage you to open that account. Sign up for that Pro Exchange. It's going to make your life easier when it comes to ordering. Figure out what you want for display based on some of those tools that I showed you. And then let's schedule some training. I'm happy to do webinars all day long until I'm allowed to get on the plane. And then we'll do some in-person live training. And we'll get our vendor reps out there showing you the best way to stick it on the concrete slab, right? Best way to do pedestals. So check out this tool. We can help you guys sell a bunch of tools, or hell, rent tools. Excuse me with that word. You guys can rent tools like that Score and Snap. And then let's go out there and win and have some fun doing it. So I'm going to go to the thank you slide, and while this plays a little tune, I'm going to read some of these questions in the chat, and I'm going to, please stay with me, and I'm going to come back and answer these. So here you go. Let's take it outside, and we'll jam out to a little DMX here while I read through this. Okay, so we got Urethane Matt, Hardscape School. That's Steve Jones. Excellent. That's right, sir. Oh, Urethane Matt. I said it wrong, I think. So you're correct. What width of joint is required between panels for exterior application? When you say panels, I'm assuming that you mean tiles or porcelain pavers. Minimum 1/8, or you can go really wide if you need to for aesthetic reasons, because for foot traffic, there's not going to be much movement in those tiles. The lightest one we have is 36 pounds. Any wind uplift solutions? Yes. We're going through final testing right now with a lab in Ontario with Profilitech. When it comes back, it should more than double the requirement for Miami-Dade, so we're going to be fine on that. Ever set on bituminous setting bed? Porcelain is okay for that. I don't think that we have specifically done that with Daltile, but that's because we've only been at it for about a year. And really, it's been more like 6 months in terms of having enough product on the ground. But yes, bituminous is an okay setting situation for a porcelain. Max tile size capability on Snap tool. I think the biggest length was 61 inches. We can go back and revisit that slide, though. But there's 4 different sizes of that Snap tool. Rochester Concrete has the pricing on that and all the sizing as well. Okay, answered your own question there, Pete. Sorry about that. Thoughts on install using Gator board as a base? I do not have a lot of thoughts on that. I know a lot of the guys at Gator. You know, I know George at Gator pretty well, George Biter. I don't have opinions on it right now because we haven't really partnered up to do any testing or anything live. I think, though, that for the most part, porcelain installs on Gator base have been pretty successful, and there's no reason that would change with our brand. Do I recommend a tray of some sort to go under the porcelain paver when it's up on pedestal? So when we say over 4 inches, we want to have some sort of a fall-through safety. Profilitech, our pedestal manufacturer, they make a anti-fragmentation membrane that's a peel and stick. It's a reinforced fiber membrane, so it's flexible. But I've seen all the tests in the videos. You hammer it with a heavy object that's going to shatter the tile. You can still stand on it. It's going to sag a little bit, but you're not going to fall through, and the pieces aren't going to go anywhere. So, yeah, we do have that. And then, again, any system would work for that. We're selling the Profilitech pedestal, but our tile goes on top of anybody's pedestal and anybody's system like that as well. So it looks like that is the end of the questions. I am 5 minutes over, so we're going to call it right on time, plus 5 minutes of questions. Everybody has seen my contact information. I'm going to scroll back to it real quick if you're hanging in there. If you failed to take it down, this is very, very accessible. So if you fail to take it down and you want to, here is my phone number, 512-809-9976. Obviously, you got local RCP reps to lean on, and I'm in close contact with all of them as well. My email address, phil.graves@daltile.com. So that's real easy. Send me a note if you like. Thanks again for everybody's time and attention. Is dry bond a recommended base on concrete? Great question, Matt. Right now, I have to say no. I have personally installed porcelain on top of dry bond, and it has held up very, very well through 2 winters of northeast Nebraska now, northeast of Omaha, actually. You have to make sure that it gets fully hydrated, which is, you can pick up a tile to check, there's nothing wrong with that. And it sticks pretty well. But I've been gone for Technoseal for 2 years. I don't know if they've monkeyed with the formula or not. I'm not going to vouch for it. I'm going to say that at one point in time I had success with it. I certainly wouldn't I wouldn't bridge any expansion joints with that or any other setting material. But I'm gonna ride the horse that I came in on with Mapei, and even say Laticrete and Custom are good. They've been doing it too long. Dry-Bond was developed for concrete pavers. They're more porous, they absorb more. Porcelain is a lot more dense, so it's harder to stick. So if they've tweaked the formula at all, I can't vouch for it whatsoever. So I appreciate the question. I still got buddies at Technoseal. I'd love to help them sell some product, but I don't want to sign up for a bunch of job site problems with my tile because I recommended something that I don't have any testing on. If anybody else has any questions, fire away. And once again, thanks so much for everybody's participation and attention. Looking forward to doing business with you guys. I've met a bunch of you at a couple shows. I knew some of you from before, and really looking forward to getting back out there and getting reacquainted, meeting some people for the first time, and having some fun and some success together. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.